It does not seem possible, does it? That is, to have the 2019-20 season be wrapped up with one word. I thought about it some more about what you could deem such a blank season. And that's what it'll always be, won't it? 100 years from now, people will look back into the history books and see a void at the end of this season. There is more to it, though, isn't there? Such an incredible season cannot be accompanied by such a mundane word, so I gave it more thought, and in doing so, I had to retrace my steps. Let's go back to August. Yes, August. Men's soccer was set to play host to Medgar Evers College in an anticipated home opener. Start time was scheduled for 3 o'clock sharp at Rick McCarthy Field. Yes, 3 o'clock. However, it was not until well after 5 p.m. that this game would ultimately take place. And what a game it was. Stunning, actually. Eastern wins 6-0 and Medgar Evers saw all of about 3 minutes on the eastern half of the field. Seems odd, right? Let's keep going. Flash forward to the first week of October and the women's soccer team sits at a 3-1 Little East Conference record. Then, starting goalkeeper Aaron Collins goes down with injury. How do you solve this problem? It certainly would not to be bringing an unrostered athlete whose sport is supposed to be played on a skin diamond rather than a fully sided pitch, right? That is where you thought wrong. Coach Chris D'Ambrosio would call on Eastern softball outfielder Alexis Terrell to take on the goalkeeping duties for the remainder of the season.
Alexis Terrell will be starting at goalie for the Warriors. Again, she is the right fielder for our softball team, yet she's very fast, and she did play a little bit soccer at Torrington High School.
Seems like a horrendous idea, right? Well, Coach D'Ambrosio made the best move he ever could have, as Terrell would go on to lead the league in save percentage and be the starting keeper for a Little East Conference semifinalist team.
So another save from Alexis Terrell.
It was only a day after Alexis Terrell made her highly unanticipated debut that the next event happened. A rainy Wednesday afternoon and the field hockey team was set to play Regis College. The stands were just about completely empty and things were dead at the Mansfield Outdoor Complex. Possibly one of the most miserable days in recent memory. That was until Kira Integlia stepped in. Integlia would make 3 of the most clutch plays of the year, as voted by you, the fans, in the final 30 seconds of a dreary Wednesday afternoon game.
Blocked by Integlia. Now Buck with a shot, blocked by Integlia again. Another block.
I'm willing to go as far to say the best play in all of Eastern athletics this week goes to Kira Integlia.
Now, let's go to 29 days later. The Little East Conference volleyball semifinals right in the Geyser Gymnasium. A full 5 sets this game would go, and Eastern would suffer a heartbreaking loss to the Panthers of Plymouth State. However, this is not what we are to focus on. Let's go to the 4th set. 20-16, Eastern leads in looking to force a 5th set down 2-1. A ball beautifully placed by Plymouth State appears to be headed for the hardwood when Abby Stern dives and is able to get a hand on it. Good effort, but all for nothing. This is about the time that everyone's jaws hit the floor.
And Bell's able to kick it over and it falls in.
Madison Bell had everyone in the Geyser Gymnasium, including myself, ready to fall out of my chair.
Possibly the play of the year, Jack, from this Warrior defense. We're going to take another look at that one as Bell's able to recover beautifully and just kick it into the spot, and they're loving it on the Eastern Connecticut side.
With 3 regular season championships under the belt in the fall season between women's cross country, men's soccer, and volleyball, it was time to move to the winter season. Men's and women's basketball were both the preseason favorites to win the Little East Conference, so it was bound to be an exciting season. Let's go to January 15th. Men's basketball welcomed in the top seed Rhode Island College Anchorman with the 4th leading scorer in the country, Cheyenne Darby, leading their charge. This game saw it all, including an Eastern record 6 technical fouls and 2 ejections, including Darby, and even a fan? Yes, a fan.
As now an official is going to ask for a fan to be ejected out of this game.
A roller coaster game that came down to a last-second heave by Thomas Close saw the Warriors come up just short. Even with the outcome, this game will go down in the record books as one of the wackiest games in Eastern history. Perhaps women's basketball provided us with the most linear season of the year, posting a 24-5 overall record and steamrolling their way through the Little East Conference regular season and tournament championship, along with a first-round win in the NCAA tournament. Just a day after the Warriors returned home from their NCAA tournament trip is when the peak of the madness really started. The coronavirus pandemic had recently begun to sweep its way through the nation, tossing the sports world, including college sports, into turmoil. It was deemed on March 9th that there was no spring break trips for any of the spring sports teams. At this time, it may have seemed short-term, but it soon became rather serious. Just 3 days later, the NCAA announced its cancellation of several conference tournaments and the NCAA tournament for Division I women's and men's basketball. This would ultimately lead to the termination of all NCAA-sanctioned spring sports. This decision left everyone in utter shock and disappointment, as several players had already played in their last game without even knowing so. And that's when it came to me. All these scenarios combined together for what now I deem an erratic season. Let me help define the word erratic. Erratic. Moving or behaving in a way that is not regular, certain, or expected. That's exactly what it was, wasn't it? Teams showing up 2 hours late, players changing sports mid-season, feet in volleyball, crazy field hockey plays, fans being ejected, entire seasons being canceled. So years from now, whether you're an Eastern athlete or just a fan, you'll be able to explain the erratic nature that was the 2019-2020 season. It may take some explaining, but once you run the story back, it will definitely all make sense then.